Welcome to the Harper Tech Academy YouTube channel. Today we're moving on in our series and we're actually looking at emulsion based sauces, and I'm doing an extra special one. This is a special recipe of how to make Hollandaise. So let's just talk quickly about what makes an emulsion sauce. We have a fat, which will be clarified butter today, and an egg. And if you put them together, they don't come together. But if you mix them very slowly together, they will actually start to combine. And the egg is one of those amazing ingredients that we have that has a lecithin, which is the emulsifier to bring the fat and the egg together into an amazing sauce. So come down, let's have a look. So to start off with, the key areas, we've got egg and we've got butter. But before we do that, we need to actually I've got a small pot here, and we need to make the flavouring. So what we're going to do is we have parsley stalks. And I'll just move that forward for you. So parsley stalks just broken in there. Tarragon. So we're making a hollandaise, you actually put tarragon in there for a bit of flavour, and if you chop tarragon in, it's then called béarnaise. Oh, that's what béarnaise is. We've got a bit of onion. So the onion is actually just going to be roughly chopped. Remember, the onion itself will be strained off as we make this. So onion goes into the pot. About 10 peppercorns. So we've got a black peppercorns, doesn't matter if you're using white or pink, really doesn't matter. They go in. And then we get our beautiful white wine vinegar. Now I say white wine, please don't use the paint stripper white vinegar that you buy from your local supermarket. It is just not going to work. So we're putting in about 200 or 300 mils in there. Just put the lid on that. And then that goes directly on the stove with just a touch of water. I'd say about 20 or 30 mils of water. This is about 6 minutes later, and you'll see that it's reduced by half, and now we take it off the stove. Before we do the sabayon, chop the butter up, place it into a container, put it in the microwave. I've put it in for about 30 to 40 seconds to start off with. I've put this in the microwave about 2 to 3 times at 30 seconds, and you'll notice that it's now clarified and separated, ready to actually use. Now that we've made our reduction, we've got our butter ready, we actually need to do the next stage. So we've got a metal bowl, which is the best way of doing this. We've got 2 eggs, and we're actually going to separate the egg. So just use the edge of the bowl, and I'm actually going to separate into another bowl. So you'll actually see we'll open up this side and then use the actual egg to actually do that. So we've got one. I'll show you again. So on the edge, open it up. Now I'm keeping the egg white. In a restaurant I'll use that for pavlovas or other kinds of things, but we never throw anything away. So we've got our 2 egg yolks. We'll move that over, put that in the fridge. Now, our 2 egg yolks. So what we're going to do now is we're going to add the flavour, which is our reduction. So you'll see here the reduction is there, and it's been sitting there for a while. So we're actually going to pour, not all of it, probably about 100 mils in, strain it, and then that's going to go onto the stove and be whisked. So you can see here we've got water on the stove at a rolling boil. We've got our 2 egg yolks in the reduction, and we're just going to break the egg yolks and whisk the egg mixture over the heat until it actually starts to come together. You've got to be very careful that you move all of the egg around, otherwise it can cook and scramble very quickly. This is now 2 minutes of whisking, and occasionally you may have to take it off the top and just keep whisking. Also remember, if it gets too thick, you need to add some more reduction to keep it nice and liquid. It's now 3 minutes later, and you'll notice we've brought the sabayon to ribbon stage, and this is where you lift it up and it actually shows a ribbon and then drops back, so we're ready for the next step. Alright, now that we've whisked our sabayon, it's time to actually do the next part. Now what you'll see here is I've made what I call a nest and placed the bowl in there. So we've got it to ribbon stage. We have our butter. If you actually look at the butter, you'll see the clarified's up to there, and we're gradually going to add our butter to the Hollandaise. Now at first it's just a few drips, allowing it to actually take the butter. If you pour it all in now, the whole thing will split. Now the key to actually knowing if it's actually starting to take is it will actually thicken. Now once it starts to take it, you're actually going to drip a little bit more. So it's the same as mayonnaise with the oil. You'll see it's starting to thicken. Now you'll notice it's starting to get thick. If you continue to add your butter, it will continue to thicken, but it will get to a point where you can't, it will split. So I'm actually adding a little bit more of my flavour, just letting it down with the reduction. Getting it down. It's looking yummy. Okay, so we're going to keep adding. You'll see I'm doing like a figure of 8. Is a little bit more efficient when using your whisking arm. You'll be able to go for much longer. You know, as you're whisking, if you're doing a big one, you want to make sure that you actually swap arms, because if you don't, then you might end up with one arm muscle a bit bigger than the other. So you'll notice when you're looking down here, it's actually really starting to take the butter, and I'm getting to the end of my clarified butter. And this is where the best part comes in. We start to taste it, and we want to season it up and make it really beautiful. So now we just taste it and see what it tastes like. Oh yeah. Now it's got to have bite, because when you think of putting on eggs, the steak, you want a nice little bite to it. So I'm going to get a little bit of pepper. So just a little bit of pepper in there. Touch of salt. Remember, just seasoning it slightly. And just whisk that in. And see how that is. Now it's got a nice bite and acidity to it already. And then the magic ingredient that we're going to finish off with are some lemon wedges. This is classic. So you just squeeze a little bit of lemon, making sure you get no pips in there, and that adds that nice little acidity. And believe it or not, it actually makes the emulsion stronger. It actually bonds the fat or the clarified butter together better with the egg. And we whisk that up. And final taste, just make sure it's okay. Love it. It's beautiful. A few key tips. Hollandaise is a sauce that you make every day. You cannot refrigerate it. Once the butter actually congeals, the whole thing splits when you whisk it up. So you actually need to keep it in a warm place and use it within a couple of hours of actually making it. It goes well on steak, it goes well with seafood. Absolutely beautiful on Eggs Benedict. Thanks for watching, and have a look. The recipe's actually on the video, and I look forward to seeing you next time at the Harbour Tech Academy. I hope you enjoyed that. If you want to see more videos from the Harbour Tech Academy, make sure you subscribe on the video, and thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.